we are talking about UNICEF Conceptual framework. Malnutrition, the problem is a multifaceted problem, and it incorporates health, education, finance, and agriculture. And the inefficiencies in any of these systems can cause malnutrition. And malnutrition also contributes to inefficiencies in health, education, finance, and agriculture. So it becomes a chicken and egg relationship where malnutrition is being influenced by the health, education, and finance. And you have to know that if the population is malnourished, if the children are malnourished as they grow, when they grow and become adults, they will perform poorly and they won't do well at school. Then when they become teachers, they will be poor teachers. When they work in the economy, they will not produce enough, and the economy will be affected. So the finance will be affected because of malnutrition. The agriculture and the education will also be affected. So it's malnutrition affects these systems, and malnutrition is also a result of inefficiencies in this system. So it becomes a vicious cycle. So the conceptual framework, the basis for this is because there's a lack of coordination between governments and international agencies that are involved in trying to combat malnutrition. And the conceptual framework was designed to organize scientific knowledge for malnutrition. So to just try and make sure that the information that is being passed to the people is accurate and is passed in the correct way. So this is part of the reason why the conceptual framework, the UNICEF conceptual framework, was formed, and also to establish coherent strategies for addressing the problems. So to try and make sure that whatever strategies that are put for the different ministries and different approaches can be used together, as well as fostering common understanding on malnutrition, and to promote inclusivity. So we need to have an approach where everyone is involved. Then we want to provide solutions that are tailor-made to each situation. So malnutrition depends on whatever situation that is in each community. So the approaches that may work in one community may not be applicable in another community. Like in developed countries, the problems there are different from the problems in developing countries. So each approach for each causes of malnutrition should be for the specific community and setting where the malnutrition is occurring. So the UNICEF conceptual framework is basically divided into basically divides the causes of malnutrition into three: immediate, underlying, and basic causes. Then immediate causes, this incorporates diseases that the patient may be suffering from. So if someone has an illness that can cause them to become malnourished, that is described as an immediate cause of malnutrition. And any dietary deficiencies that they may be experiencing, let's say they are not having enough diet, let's say this diet is lacking energy or in protein, that diet, those direct deficiencies that the patient is getting, they are the immediate causes of malnutrition for that patient. Then the underlying causes for malnutrition, these are the things that occur in the household or the community and healthcare facility. So we're talking about the household, we're talking about the family. Where does the mother work? Where does the father work? What is the level of education for the parents? So if the mother is a vendor and she's taking the child as she goes to vend, let's say she's selling sweets and maybe chips, fresh chips or whatever, eventually you find that she may be waking up 6 a.m. in the morning, going into the streets, and she doesn't have enough time at home to cook for the baby, and eventually she will just feed the baby whatever things that she's selling. She probably feed the baby the sweets and the potatoes, chips and everything, and this will make the baby to not have adequate meals and to not have properly cooked meals. So the household contributes as an underlying cause. Then when we talk about the community, we're talking about, does the community have proper water and supply and sewer disposal systems? How are the people in the community as well? What's the level of education of the people in the community? Do they have proper road networks? And do they have proper shops in their community where they can have let's say, proper food that's being sold, that's standardized. Okay, then when we talk about the healthcare facility, we're talking about is there a good hospital nearby? Is there a good clinic? The healthcare workers there, are they aware of the methods and medication methods to avoid malnutrition? Is the hospital workers, the hospital, does it have the adequate resources, let's say, for treating malnutrition? If a patient comes with malnutrition and they are to be discharged, do they have the adequate knowledge to counsel that patient and to give them the desired things to use, or the desired ready to use therapeutic feeds for the patient to eat at home? So this becomes the underlying causes of malnutrition. Then when we're talking about the basic causes, we're talking about the policies that the government and the international agencies are making. So for example, if we say food fortification, in developing countries, we know that in some countries were not fortifying their foods, and for now food fortification is actually a process that's starting, so that if it is maybe whatever basic staple food that is common in that country must be fortified with micronutrients, and how this has to become as a government directive, to say all our foods, for it to be for you to be able to buy whatever food they are offering, it has to be fortified. And also the budget allocation for health. So it depends on what the finance of that country. Do they have enough money to support their health system? They have enough money to support their agriculture system? They have enough money to support the education system? Because all these systems, at the end of the day, they come back to impact on malnutrition. So the basic causes simply go to the policy making at government and international agency levels. Thank you.